Big problem. You're at home trying to practice your basketball, maybe it's tennis, cricket, soccer, whatever the sport, the ball keeps bouncing over the neighbour's fence. At Quattro Sports for over 25 years, we've been making these sports barrier nets to keep the ball contained in your property, less time annoying the neighbours, more time practicing. In today's video, I'm going to go into quite specific detail about the different types of nets and the different types of posts that are available to create the best solution for your yard. So it's my goal that by the end of this video, you'll know what net and what post system is going to be the best for your property so you can get on with the business of practicing, less time annoying the neighbour. Let's go. Okay, so to start with today, we're going to look at the two different types of nets that we can use to keep these balls contained on the court. There are other options in terms of colours and customizable features, but for the most part, residential backyard like this one, there's really two sizes that we normally use. So let's take a look in some closer detail. Not all nets used for this application are the same, so I really wanted to highlight today why we think these are the strongest, best looking and most practical nets in the market. What I've got here today is I've got one with the 100mm squares and I've got one here with the 40mm squares. 100mm squares we'll start with. Let's crack it open. This is how it comes packaged. Okay, so what we've got here is our 100mm square mesh sports net. Let's look at some of the details. First off, the 100mm refers to the size of the holes, so that will be 100mm by 100mm. Now, what sports is this suitable for? This is suitable for basketball, obviously, soccer, volleyball, any of the larger ball sports. Obviously, it's not going to be suitable for a tennis ball, cricket, or golf ball. The advantages of this one really is that it's a little bit more discreet. There's a little bit less mesh, say, per square meter, but still very, very strong, but is a little bit more discreet than something that has smaller holes. Still very, very strong, very popular option. You notice on the edge here, we've got a double stitched or overlock stitched rope edging border, 6mm. Thickness of the material here is about 2mm thick. This is a UV treated, double knotted, very tight knots here. This comes from one of the best manufacturers in the world. They come with a bit of additional rope in the corners in case you want to use that to slide your net from one side or the other, or if you want to tie it onto a tree or onto a post in a more temporary fashion. This particular net's 5 meters by 3 meters. You can see as I open it up. Key here is that it all sits square. If you look at those holes, see how they're all sitting in simply in a square. They're not in a diamond. The advantage of them being made in this manner is that it is so much easier to install. We don't need to manipulate. A lot of the nets you see, they come in these diamonds and you've got to pull them this way and pull them that way in order to get the dimensions that you're after. Whereas this one just sits perfectly square, super simple to install. Comes in a range of different pre-made sizes. And like I said, we can also customize them as well. So this one is the 100mm square, suitable for the larger ball sports. Okay, now we'll take a look at the second option. This net here is really our most popular, just because it's the most versatile and it's just perfect for the backyard in terms of its durability and its practicality, being able to be used for so many different sports. A 5 meter by 3 meter net, if you wanted to get an idea of how big a bundle of material is, that's 5 meters by 3 meters. It's one of our pre-made sizes. You can see it opens up perfectly square, like I said before. No diamonds to stretch in any particular direction. Same manufacturer as the 100mm square. We've got a nice 6mm rope edging border around the entire perimeter on our pre-made nets. UV treated material, being tested on a UV testing facility. We've got heat strengthened knots, perfectly square. Once again, same material, so it's about 2mm thick. This is our most popular, so it's the most versatile because we can use this for cricket, we can use it for tennis, basketball, soccer, football, all the sports, everything except golf. You're going to be fine with this 40mm. So often what we find is, yeah, the kids might be into some cricket, and you just want it for cricket, but then they might want to play basketball in the winter, and then they start to take an interest in another sport. So it's just more versatile over the course of a year here in Australia, the summer and the winter sports, that you go for the 40mm. Even though there is more material per square meter, it's still very discreet. And you can take a look at this one we've got here installed. This is one of these nets, 2mm thick, 40mm squares. Once it's up, it's really hard to see, kind of camouflages into the yard. So that's really our most popular net. Okay, so once you've decided on which type of net you're going to use, either the 40mm or the 100mm squares, Maybe you've looked at your sizing as well. 5x3, 10x3 are the standard sizes, or as I mentioned, we have a few other sizes, plus we can customize as well. It'll be then time to decide how you're going to hang this net up to stop the ball bouncing over the fence. From time to time, you might be able to tie it onto a tree or onto your house or onto a gate or an existing post, which is great. But if not, and you're starting from scratch, you might want to look at one of our post options. We have 4 to choose from. Each have the different advantages and disadvantages. So I'm going to run through each one individually and explain how they come delivered and how we install them. First one's going to be our most popular one, which we call our fence mount post. Fence mount post is great because it's quite affordable and it takes up absolutely no space on your court. So if you haven't got a lot of space to play with and you've got a nice strong fence, why not just mount a post directly to your fence? Nice and high, nice and discreet, super simple to install, and takes up no space on your court. So it comes delivered. It comes with 2 posts in the box here. Got one of them out here already. So they're a 3-piece system. They're a pin lock together. So there's our top. That's the plastic cap on the end. As we move along, you'll see how we can press the pin lock to connect the pieces together. There it goes. There's one. Move that along. We can connect our 3rd piece down here. There we go. Nice and simple. Okay, now we'll just zoom out a little bit and stand it up. Here we have a 3-meter, really strong steel post, ready to hang up your net. Take a look here down the bottom. 3 holes, 1, 2, 3, for attaching to your fence. We'll overlay some images over the video right now to show you some of these posts in action and to show you how we can install them. While I've got it here on demonstration, we'll show you if you don't necessarily need the full 3-meter height, you do have the option to remove this middle piece and you could just use it as a 2-piece system. Okay, so once you post up, if you do use the full 3 parts and it is up 3 meters high, it is quite a high net and it will need a little bit of extra stability. So if we go back down to the accessories that it comes with, you can see it does come here with a little eyelet here. You can go through the very top of the post. And then the kit comes with some guide wire. This is a stainless steel wire cable. It's not like a rope that's going to stretch and fade over time. This is stainless steel wire. Nice crimped, looped ends to attach on here, and you can take that down to the top of your fence to give it that extra stability. 3 meters high, it just needs that little bit of extra stability. So pretty simple, nothing too permanent on your fence. The other accessory comes with just some cable ties to cable tie the net onto each post. And in this particular box, we had 2 posts. So 2 3-meter posts, plus the hardware, plus the cable ties, and you're good to go. Another thing to think about then is how many posts you might want to go for. A lot of these kits that we sell as pre-made come with 2. From our experience, if you're doing a 5-meter net, 2 posts is generally fine. If you're doing the 10-meter option, those do come with 2, because some people are perfectly comfortable with just having 2 posts. But if you, after a look where it's nice and taut, no sagging whatsoever, 10 meters is a long net. So often you might want to buy an additional post to put in the center of that. When you are attaching it to your fence, you don't want to attach it to just the center of your Colorbond fence. You always want to go onto your upright posts. So it's really a matter of kind of identifying how many posts you've got, how many of these brackets you want to put on. But the general rule is the 5 meters, 2 is going to be fine, just 1 on either end. If you're doing the 10 meter, 2 will work. But if you want it to look really taut and be really strong with no slack, you might want to put 1 more in the center. But there you pretty much have it. That's the fence mount post. We'll overlay a few more photos and pictures to show you what this is going to look like in your property. But it's the most popular because it takes up no space on the court, nothing permanent really other than just a few screws into your fence. Okay, our second option is what we call a post with spike. So this one here is really suitable to go into grass. So if you've got a grass area on the edge of your court, or if you're playing perhaps cricket at the park and you want to put up like a barrier net to stop the ball from running away, before the game or at practice, this one's for you. Show you how it comes. Here it is in its packaging. This is a 2-piece kit. I've unboxed one of the posts right here. Pretty similar to the last one. It's 3, roughly 1 meter posts. Okay, you can identify the top one because it has the rubber cap on the end. 1, 2, 3 posts. The difference with this one is what happens at the ground. So at the ground, we're going to go into grass, so we need a little bit more stability. We've got nothing to mount to. It's really freestanding, this option. Here's what we call the spike. This is the base spike. As you can see, from this level here is all below ground. So this goes into the grass level, and this is all below the grass. So this is giving us that extra stability in the grass. And then from there, just like in the previous video, it's going to be pin lock. To put your pieces together. And up you go. 1, 2, 3. 3-meter high net spiked into the grass. Simple design, but we need to make it stable. If we're going to be kicking soccer balls, footballs into it, at full power, it's going to need some extra stability rather than just this, 10 centimeters or so into some soft grass. So if we come back to the top, it's exactly the same as we saw in the previous post. It's got a space here to put the eyelet through, to which we can attach our supporting wire cable to give it stability down into the ground level. At the ground level, we've got this heavy duty peg. It's not just a little standard little 10 peg. It's a nice, really thick, strong design, which is going to make it really stable out there at the park or in your backyard if you have grass. So that's what we call the post with spike. 3 parts, supported by a wire cable, 10 peg down to the ground. Comes with everything you need. Don't have to attach anything, don't have to concrete anything, don't have to screw anything. So if you're renting, it's perfect. You can take it down, you can put it back up, and you can take it with you when you move to your next property. Okay, our third post option is what we call our post with base stand. Like I say, each post has its own application, just depends on your yard. That first one, the fence mount one is perfect. If you've got a good fence right next to your court and you want to save space, excellent. Next one, if you haven't got anything to mount to, want something more temporary, going into the grass with the spike on the bottom, that's perfect. In this situation, we've got the base stand. And when we use the base stand if we don't have a fence to mount to and we don't have any grass. So we really will need something freestanding on its own accord. We've got the base with stand. Now I just want to make it clear how stable this is, just so you've got that perception in your mind of how this is going to work. You need to keep in mind we're going 3 meters high. It's extremely high. So anytime you're going 3 meters high, it's going to need some extra stability in the form of the wire cables, or by screwing into the ground, or by concreting into the ground, something like that with all the different types of posts. Nothing's going to stand on its own accord 3 meters high without any extra stability. Just to make that clear. This stand is strong. You can get an idea there of the weight just by kind of how easy I pick it up. It's strong, it's got a bit of weight to it, but it's not just going to stand 3 meters high independently by itself with no supports. So in this case, if we just wanted to put it here, it's the same as the other type. We've got the pin lock working again, 3 pieces, 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter. This is our top piece right here, just the same as the other ones. This is where that eyelet's going to go through, and we're going to attach a wire cable down to give us that extra support from that 3 meter height. For some extra stability, the base stand comes with 4 holes, 1 in each corner. So if it's going onto concrete, for example, or maybe a timber deck or something like that, there is that option if you want to screw that down. So you want to make it stable, 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, screw it down, attach your 3 posts into the top here of the base stand, just like you saw on the previous video. It's going to go straight over the top like that. Couldn't be any more simple. We're going to go 1 meter high, 2 meter high, 3 meters high, and then just like we did in the last video, we're going to attach that eyelet through the top piece, the washer. Okay, so this is our top piece, 3 meters high up in the air. We've got these carabiners attached onto the wire cables, which you're going to clip right on there, and that's going to go down to the ground to give you some extra stability. Comes with the included 10 pegs if it is going on grass, or perhaps you want to take this down to the ground and attach it to a clip or screw it into the ground. But either way, important to know, yes, it is a freestanding option and it can sit on its own accord, just like this, but it will need some extra stability, especially if you're doing a 10 meter net or a cage or some sort of large, heavier net. You've got got these holes here for screwing it down, plus you've got the support cables as well. So yeah, if you don't have any grass, if you don't have a fence to attach to, and you've got the ability to support it with the screws going into the bottom and the wire cable, the post with base stand is going to be perfect for your setup. Our fourth and final option we have available here is our 80mm heavy duty 4-meter post. This is for those permanent installations where you've just moved into a house, for example, you know you're not going anywhere, you want something no fuss, no wire cables, no temporary element to it. It's going to be there, it's going to be strong, it's going to stay up for many, many years, and you can get on with playing your basketball or your soccer or whatever it is you want to play. So let's have a look at how these come together. Basically, they're an 80mm steel post that are designed to be concreted into the ground. Concreted into the ground gives you that extra support, plus with the 80mm steel, it's not going anywhere. It won't need any support wire cables coming down to balance it, no matter how high it is. Then what we do is we're going to run a wire cable in between each of the two posts to which we can clip the net onto. Let's have a look how it works at the bottom here. So we've gone ahead and concreted our post into the ground. We have a wire cable, stainless steel, maybe 3mm, 4mm, running right along the bottom here. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to clip the netting around the rope edging we spoke about earlier and clip that straight onto your stainless steel wire cable. We do that at the top and the bottom, and because we can get so much tension on this stainless steel wire with the use of a turnbuckle, it just allows us to get it really taut and it stops that sagging in between each post. So you can cover quite large distances before you need to put another post, and it'll still look nice and neat and very strong, even without the support wire cables. The 4-meter posts that we sell here don't come with any included hardware because everybody's doing something slightly different. This is more of a permanent, which sometimes means it can be a more customized option. So this is some of the hardware that we sell to help make your installation as simple as possible. Here we've got the turnbuckle. This is used for tensioning the stainless steel wire. We've got the pad eyelet, which is screwed onto your fence post. The turnbuckle could then, for example, clip onto that and tension that up. Then the wire would run from post to post. Got a different type of eyelet here. This is like what we call a bolt eyelet. When we're attaching the netting to the posts, you can either do that with Velcro. We sell Velcro strips here, or you can use large cable ties, or you can use these elasticized bungee balls. Do that on either side. Just keeps that net nice and taut. And last is what we call the carabiner. The carabiner is used to attach the netting onto the wire cable. So we just put it around the rope edging and then down around the wire cable. Voila. Beauty of this is the net can slide. So if you undo the Velcros or the bungee eyelets from either side and you want to slide the net out of the way when you're not using it, simple. You can just slide the net all the way across like a curtain from one side to the other. So the 4-meter heavy duty post, it's a final option, permanent installations, super strong, no fuss, a little bit more effort on the installation because you're going to have to dig the footing, you're going to have to concrete it in, but once it's in a situation like this, you can see it takes up absolutely no space. I'm not going to have to worry about it for many, many years. Net super taut, nice big long span, looks nice and neat. It's the best option if you've got the space for it and you're in a situation where you can put something in permanent. It's the 4-meter heavy duty post. Well, I hope that's been helpful for you. If you have any questions all about the styles of the net, the 100mm or the 40mm, or any of the 4 different types of posts, the fence mount post for spike for the grass, the base stand for the concrete or hard surfaced areas, and then we've got the more permanent 4-meter post. If you have any questions about any of that, customization options, delivery times, prices, it all should be on the website, but if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our team. I hope that really clarifies for you and makes it clear in your mind what's going to be the best approach for your yard. Get it up and running, and then it's time to start shooting some hoops.